who can apply for refund under customs? First of all, who can claim refund under customs? Let's say I imported something. I was actually required to pay 40% basic custom duty. By mistake, I paid 60% custom duty. Can I claim the refund of differential 20% that I paid mistakenly? The answer is yes. Let's say I am the importer. I imported something. I was supposed to pay 40% duty, but I mistakenly paid 60%. I sold this goods further to some buyer and I recovered 60% from him also. He gets to know that this guy mistakenly paid 60% and this 60% was recovered from me also. Can I as a buyer go and claim refund under customs? The answer is yes. So the person who has paid the duty or interest in excess can go claim refund, or the person who has bore the incidents, means this guy ultimately sold it to someone else and now the burden lies on someone else. So this person who has ultimately borne the burden of the taxes can also go and apply for refund under customs. So who can claim the refund? Not necessarily only the importer or exporter. Any person who has paid the duty in excess or any person who has ultimately bore the incidence of this duty or interest can go make an application for refund of duty or interest under customs. But the applicable time limit is 1 year. So whatever is the relevant date, we are going to see relevant date for each cases. So whatever is the relevant date, from this relevant date, within 1 year, mandatorily you are required to go and make the refund application. If this 1 year is lapsed, then after that you cannot go to file your refund application. So the application is required to be filed in a prescribed form and manner within 1 year. Now, if it is a normal case of import-export, then whatever is the date on which I paid the duty, from that within 1 year, I'll run and make my refund application. So, I paid the duties today. Within 1 year, I'll quickly run and make my refund application. If it is a claim by some other person, so let's say I am the actual importer, I paid duties, I have sold these goods to someone else. So for this buyer, 1 year starts from whenever he has actually purchased the goods. Very simple. So if there's other person other than importer, exporter trying to claim the refund, then whatever is the date of purchase of goods for such person, from this date within 1 year, he'll go and file refund application. If it's some special order being issued, then the date of such order. If there is an order or a judgment or a decree of court, tribunal, so court, arbitral tribunal, appellate authority, in such cases, the day on which I get any judgment, decree, court order, so whenever I get the direction order, judgment, decree from here within 1 year, I'll go and apply for refund. Or provisional assessment was done. Provisional assessment was done and I had paid excess duty initially. Then in such case, to get refund of the excess duty paid, the day on which final assessment is done and everything is adjusted, from that within 1 year, I can go and apply for refund. So very simple. What you are required to remember is 1 year. This is absolutely not required and it is very much common sense, logical based thing. If I am normal importer, exporter, the day on which I pay. If I am other person, the day on which I purchase goods. Special order, date of order. Judgment, decree, court, date of judgment, decree, order. Provisional assessment, the date of final assessment and all the adjustment. Within 1 year from these relevant dates, I go, I run and I make a refund application. But if I had initially paid duty under protest, I was since beginning saying that this is not the duty I'm supposed to pay. Officer has made me pay this duty by issuing an order on me. So I was since beginning protesting against this duty. Then in such case, 1 year time limitation does not apply. If I had paid duty under protest, then in such case, even after 1 year, I can go and apply for my refund. So limitation of 1 year does not apply. Refund can be claimed without any time limit if I had originally paid my duty under protest. If you are paying less than 100, if you want a refund of less than 100, please do not apply. See, while studying special exemptions and general exemptions in levy exemption chapter, I told you that if the import duty is up to 100, government leaves the duty. Government doesn't even ask you to pay the duty if it is up to 100. Similarly, if you are wanting to claim refund and the refund amount is less than 100, please do not make a refund claim only. Government is not free to process so many things and give you a refund of just an amount which is less than 100. Yes, for 100 and more. For 100 and more, you can make a refund application and claim your refund. But the amount under customs, if it is less than 1000, please do not make application. It will not be refunded to you. Also, you need to accompany your refund application with a document. showing that you have not shifted the burden to someone else. This is very much important. Let's say I am the original importer who has paid 60% duty, who was required to pay 40%, and I am seeking 20% refund. I need to produce a documentary evidence proving that I have not shifted the burden of this tax on someone else. If I have already sold these goods, in such case, government is going to assume that even though I have paid 60%, but I am not under any loss because I have recovered this 60% to someone else. So now this person can go and file refund application. I cannot go because otherwise I will be unjustly enriched. Important word, I will be unjustly enriched, because I got 60% from this guy also and I got 20% refund from government also. So I am unjustly enriched by the additional 20% taxes. So in such case, always the by default assumption of government, is that you have passed the incidence. So government automatically assumes that even if refund is due, government will not pay you the refund and government will transfer this refund to consumer welfare fund, assuming that if we give you the refund, you will be unjustly enriched. You will be unjustly enriched because you have anyways passed the burden on someone else. So you need to present a documentary evidence proving that the refund is due and the refund is due to you only. You have not passed on the incidence to anyone. So application must be accompanied by documentary or any evidence to prove that incidence of such duty has not been passed on to any other person. How is the refund claim processed? Once you make application, if it is complete and processed, in such case, whole part of duty, interest, whatever is refundable to you, it is refundable by issuing a refund order. The amount found refundable has to be transferred to consumer welfare fund. As I said, if you are able to prove that refund is due, refund will be given. It will not be given to you. It will be given to consumer welfare fund. You additionally need to prove that refund is due to you only. There is no unjust enrichment. And in such cases, government will give you the refund. Otherwise, directly by a deeming fiction, they assume that there is a statutory presumption saying that burden has been passed on and therefore refund should not be given to you. It is known as doctrine of unjust enrichment. But there are few exceptions to doctrine of unjust enrichment, and this is what you are supposed to remember. Try to learn these points. There can be a direct theory question asking you that please give us the incidences in which refund is paid to importer and not to consumer welfare fund. Or question might be framed as give us the exceptions to doctrine of unjust enrichment. So these are the cases where government will not automatically assume that the refund has to be given to consumer welfare fund. First, when you have not passed on, so simply you are able to prove that no incidence has been passed on to anyone else, you get the refund. Or person who has borne the duty has not passed to someone else. See, there are two things. The original importer exporter has not passed on the burden, and also this buyer has not further sold to someone else. So whoever is going to make the refund claim has to prove that he has not passed on the burden to anyone else. I had imported something for personal use. Very much simple. If I had imported something for personal use, the duty, the incidence, everything remains on me. Nothing I have transferred. So if the goods are for personal use, I can directly go claim a refund. No doctrine of unjust enrichment applicable. I have returned the goods to exporter. I have export duty paid on goods returned to the exporter. So initially when I exported something, I paid export duty. But ultimately these goods are returned to the exporter. Then in such case, sale return, then duty should also be returned to me. Drawback of duty. Simple. Drawback provisions as such are now not applicable for your examination point of view, but it is okay. You can just remember this point. Then duty interest borne by notified applicant. Government may notify some people who are not required to prove unjust enrichment. And if there is any excess duty paid which is evident from bill of entry, it is very much evident from bill of entry that you have paid excess duty. We are going to see one question in relation to this, and this point will be more clear to you. So in all of these cases, refund will be given to me. Otherwise, by default, even if the refund is processed, it will be credited to consumer welfare fund in the view of unjust enrichment. It will not be given to me. Now, what is the meaning of unjust enrichment? This importer exporter pays customs duty to CBIC but recovers it ultimately from the buyer. So after the incidence is passed on to purchaser, if importer exporter makes a claim for refund and receives it from government, then he would be called to be unjustly enriching himself because he collected the duty twice, once from the buyer and once as a refund from government also. what is the interest that I get on refunds? So for 3 months, we have already discussed this while discussing the provisional assessment part, but still just to give you an overview again, whatever is your date of application, whenever the government receives your application, within 3 months, refund has to be processed. If refund is not processed within 3 months, then from the expiry of 3 months till the time you actually get your refund, 6% per annum interest is payable. For 3 months, you do not get any interest, right? So if I make an application today, for 3 months, I'm not getting any interest. After expiry of 3 months till the date I actually receive my refund, for this period, I will be getting a 6% per annum interest. If the refund results from order passed by appellate authority or tribunal, then no claim. I do not separately need to go and make a claim. Court has already passed an order and the 3 months period starts from the order of the court date itself. The date of the court order itself. And in case of any deposit, let's say I'm doing some project import deposit, any provisional release of goods deposit. So any kind of deposit that I'm giving to department, on that deposit, I'm not going to get any interest, right? So if you deposit something and that deposit is returned to you, no interest you get on this deposit. Specifically, if any refund you are claiming, then only on that refund, that too after expiry of 3 months from application, you get 6% per annum interest. Done, clear, understood. Now, refund of export duty in certain cases, refund of import duty in certain cases. Let's say I exported something and I paid export duty. Now it is returned back. Then I should be getting my export duty back. Let's say I imported something and now I am sending it back. So means I purchased something and I'm doing a purchase return. So while importing, I paid import duty. Now I'm sending these goods back. Then I should obviously be getting refund of my import duty. This is what this case says. So let's say the goods are returned to such person otherwise than way of resale. I had exported these goods and these goods are coming back to me, not as a resale. I am not purchasing these goods back. They are coming as export returns, re-imported within 1 year from date of exportation. And whenever I am re-importing from that date within 6 months, I am making a refund claim. Then in such case, I should be getting the refund of my export duties paid. Today, I export something after paying export duties. Within 1 year, this comes back to me, means my sale is now sale returned within 1 year. The day on which I import this, so the day on which I import my exported goods back, there is a sale return. From this, within 6 months, you can go and apply for refund of the export duty paid here, is what the entire provision says. So the provision basically compensates the export duty in situation where goods exported by you are rejected and returned by your ultimate buyer. Same is the case of import duty. So the goods are defective or not as per the specifications, and therefore I decide to re-export these goods back. I'm not claiming any drawback. So see, drawback simply means whatever duties you've paid, you get a drawback. You cannot take benefit of both. You either get drawback or refund. If you've already got drawback, then forget about refund. So I imported something. It is not as per my specifications. I do not want these goods and I ultimately send these goods back. Then in such cases, whatever import duties I have paid, I can get a refund. So goods are defective. Goods identified as the same goods. So whatever I'm importing are the same goods that I'm sending back. And if I am relinquishing the title or I'm exporting them or I'm destroying them commercially valueless. So I say these goods are not as per my specifications. I do not want these goods anymore. I just destroy these goods in the front of customs officers only, saying, see, I'm destroying these goods. They are not at all useful to me. You please give my import duty back. So the day on which I clear my goods. So today I import. Within 30 days from here, I completely destroy the goods, render them valueless, relinquish the title. These 30 days can be extended to 3 months also. Then in such cases, before expiry of 6 months, I can ask for refund. Now 6 months starts from when? If I am sending these goods back, I imported something, I am sending back. So the day when I am sending back, from here within 6 months, if I'm relinquishing the title, then the day when I relinquish the title, 6 months from there, or I destroy the goods, the day on which I destroy the goods, within 6 months from there, I can apply for my import duty refund. It is very much similar. See, here also you get 6 months. 6 months from where? From you re-import after export. Here also 6 months from where? When you re-export after import. Very much simple. You purchase or sale, you pay duties. You do purchase return, you do sale return, you get your duties back. It is just a time limit of 6 months, that the day on which you purchase return or sale return, within 6 months from there, you go and apply for the refund of duties that you've already paid and you get your duties. Again, if you import some offensive or perishable goods, then obviously you cannot relinquish your title and get the benefit of refunds. Done, ma'am. Simple case laws. One important Priya Blue, very simple. Priya Blue case law says refund application is not a substitute of appeal. Let's say I got an adjudication order. The proper officer issued me an order saying I need to pay 5 lakh duties. I paid 5 lakh duty. I had to pay because an order was issued on me. Now, if I want to protest against this, I am not accepting this 5 lakh. I paid because order was issued on me. I need to go make an appeal. I will go to the higher authority, I'll go to tribunal, I'll go to court, I'll make an appeal that I was not required to pay this 5 lakh. Officer still issued me an order. And now if I win the appeal, then I get the refund. I cannot directly, without making appeal, go and file a refund application. I'll say, see, even if I file a refund application, department is not going to give me refund anyways. They will first scrutinize my refund application. So if they find it appropriate, then only they will give me. This justification you cannot give. What did Priya Blue Industries did? They did not go for appeal. They directly went for refund application, which is not valid. So if assessment is done, duty you have paid as per order, and you feel aggrieved, you are aggrieved, you want refund, you want justice, you have to go to appeal, you have to go to court, you have to go to tribunal. You cannot directly file a refund application, because understand, the time limits of filing appeal are different. The time limits of filing refund are different. You cannot do so, that my time limit to file appeal is over, let me just directly apply for refund. No, you cannot. So refund claim cannot be a substitute of appeal. If I have paid any duty owing to any order, I need to go appeal against that order. Now if I win the appeal, then I get the refund. Priya Blue Industries Limited. Rest all are simple. Refund claim cannot be filed by any person other than you. So you as an importer or exporter can file your refund claim, or your customs agent if he has the power of attorney. So if you give your customs agent power of attorney, only then he can make a claim on your behalf. Otherwise, even your agent without power of attorney cannot make claim on your behalf. Always the burden of proof lies on you. Department is going to always assume. There's a statutory presumption that you have passed on the burden and refund should not be given to you. Refund should be given to Consumer Welfare Fund. This is the by default assumption with which department works. So it is always a burden on you to prove that there is no transfer of burden, there is no transfer of incidents on any person, and you are only liable to get the refund. Interest on delayed payment is, see, as of now 6% is the applicable interest. Now let's say I imported something on 24th Jan. I paid the duties. I made the refund application on let's say 30 March 24, and then ultimately I was paid the refund on 31st July 24. So in all of these cases, at any time government decide to change the rate of interest on refunds, the day on which I actually get my refund, whatever is the interest applicable on this day should be made available to me. So they are saying interest on delayed refund is payable at the rate applicable time to time and not rate applicable when refund was due. Refund could have been due at any point of time. The day on which I get my refund, that will be the relevant day, and interest prevailing on that rate should be made available to me. And last, it has been held that appeal is required to be filed and not refund claim even in case of self-assessment. See, at all cases, if there's an order issued to you, then it is very much simple and basic that you need to appeal against that order. And if you win the appeal, then you get refund, otherwise you do not. Even if for self-assessment you want a refund back, you still need to file an appeal. Refund cannot ever be a substitute of appeal. If there has to be an appeal filed, you have to file an appeal. Without filing appeal, you cannot directly go file a refund application and ask for refunds from government. Very simple, very small chapter. What you just need to remember, is that 1 year limitation, no refund below 100. Within 3 months, refund has to be paid to you. If not paid, 6% interest applicable. This is what you're going to revise on last day, and the doctrine of unjust enrichment exceptions. Other than that, everything is read once category. Even the chapter is only read once category, but still playing safe side. These are the 4-5 things that you need to remember.